Hey everybody, welcome in the sewing room. I'm so glad y'all are here. We're going to make some more quilt blocks today. Yes, we are. I think we're going to try to do 3 because these are fairly simple quilt blocks. So I think we'll try to do 3 in this video. The ones that are more detailed and have more pieces to cut, we may just put 2 or 1 depending on, time. So we're ready for block 4 and 5, and here's block 4. There's block 4, and this one has 5 fabrics if you choose to use the 5, but I think I'm only going to use 4. And I've got stuff out here to do several little blocks here with y'all today. I'm going to lay this over here out of the way because this one we're going to do strawberries. It's almost strawberry season. And the red gingham I think looks pretty with that. And then this yellow because we've got little white flowers there with yellow centers. And then just a little white and red dot. Okay, I've just picked these out for this particular block. Like I said, I'm just pulling from what's here on the wall and we're just making different blocks. So this one, like I said, calls for 5 fabrics, and I think I'm only going to use the 4, but I'm going to use this one for 2 of them. Okay, the center block and the 4 corner blocks. See, this one has a center block and then it's got 4 corner blocks. So I think I'll use the strawberries for all of that, and the other 3 I'll use this. All right, so let's lay our pattern back here so we can get ready, get started cutting. I've got it leaned up back there, kind of like a recipe book. It's my quilt recipe. And I'm going to start by cutting off some strips here. First off, I'm going to cut this selvage off so I can hang on to it. This one I'm going to use on another piece, another block too, but so I think that's plenty though to cut off. I'm flinging pins everywhere. Get some of this stuff back out of my way. I need to put some things away, don't I? I do. I need to put some stuff up. Some stuff put away. I'll need that here in just a minute. Alright, now then maybe I've got a little more room to work on my little bitty table here. We're working on getting me a larger table. I've got a larger cutting mat, better cutting mat over there that I'd ordered, and it's here. It's just really big, and so we've got to get me a table together for it. Okay, I'm going to cut this right up through here. There we go. Put this back on my piece of cardboard. And y'all, I just cut up cardboard boxes for this. Some people say you have to have, about to lose my voice all of a sudden. Some people say you need to have special boards. I don't know, but for right now I'm just using cardboard because that's what I have, and that's what we do. We use what we have. We do. Alright, so this piece, it needs to be, I need to cut 4 pieces, 2.5 by 1.5. So let's cut this 2.5 right here. this right here. Cut it 2 1/2. And then I need 4 pieces, 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. So there's our 2 1/2. Now we need our 1 1/2. There's 2. And there's 4. Perfect little pieces. All right. This we will hang on to as we do our next block that we're going to put that in. All right, in this block or this piece, we need, I'm not going to save the selvage on this because it doesn't have anything on it. This one we need trying to decide which one I want to use this for. Let's do let's see. We need 4 1x2s and 4 1x2 1/2. So let's even this up here on this side. Square it up. And then these are all 1-inch pieces. So I'm going to cut this 1 inch. And then I need, there's 4 layers here. I need 4 that are 2 inches. So first I need to cut these selvages off. I want to make sure you've got them all lined up here right. You don't want to cut them crooked. There's 4 that are 2 inches, and I need 4 that are 2 1/2 inches. Okay, there's those 2. And now then, I'll save that in case I have something else I can use that on. Let me find a clip. I'll just do this one for now. I'll swap it out later. Okay, now then, this one I need 4 pieces, 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. So I'm just going to cut off right here. I'll even this up, square it up. Then I'm going to cut this 1 1/2 inches because I'm not using this one in another block today, but these seem to be dimensions that these blocks use a lot. Okay, it's 1 1/2 and I need 4 pieces. One 1/2 by 2 1/2. So let's come down here to 2 1/2. We're going to cut this all off here, square it up. There we go. There are those 4 blocks. Is that right? There we go. And now this is our last piece, and we need to cut 2 patterns out of this. I want 4 1x2s and 1 2.5 by 2.5. Okay, so let me cut off a little bit of selvage here so we can save it. I think my boys are home. I just heard them shut the door downstairs. Alright, now then, this is already squared up nicely. So let's cut 2.5 inches off here. I hear him down there. Okay, now then we can get all of our pieces from that. Alright, so we need 1 piece 2.5 by 2.5. There's that one. And then we need 4 pieces 2 by 2. So I'm going to line this up right here. Get that all lined up even. And we're going to cut it at 2 inches. I need 4, right? Okay, let's do this. Now then, I'm going to cut this. We'll lay all 4 of them up here together like this. I'm going to cut it 2 inches. You want to make sure you've got them all exactly lined up. Perfect. Now then, I'm going to trim off just a tiny, and we'll turn it the other way because I'm right-handed. I'll trim off just a little bit. Make sure they're all perfectly square. Come in here. That's 2 inches right there. Now then, I'm going to turn this because this is this handy dandy little thing right here that turns. And I'm going to come in right here and go 2 inches. All right. And there we go. There's our pieces. Now then, y'all know we have to lay them out here the way they go, and then I'll take this over to the machine with us as we sew them. Okay, so this is the center piece, and these pieces will go here like this. Oh, the mister came up and opened my windows up. It's so nice. It's 70 something out there, and my windows are open and I can get fresh air, and it is so nice. Well, there's the other one. I was going to say I'm missing one. No, I've got it. Okay. Oh, and there's a nice breeze. Lovely. All right, now then, these go here, but of course, you know, this seam allowance will be taken out there. These go like this. And then our other strawberries go in the corners. Okay, there we got it all right like this. And here again, this block has 3 rows basically that we need to do. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. All right. Okie doke. I'll meet y'all over here at the machine and we'll get sewing. All right, here we are at the machine and we're going to start sewing our pieces together, and we're going to start with the yellow and the red. These two, these two, these two, and these two. Okay? So we're going to sew these right sides together, pretty side to pretty side. A 1/4 of an inch seam. And I just keep sewing, just like this. And like I've told y'all before, the more seams you have, the more likely you are to be off size with your pieces. So make sure you're getting your pieces, all the seams, all the same size. All right, now then, we've got to press some. Alright, let me come back and I'll get these pressed. Okay, these are all sewn. Alright, now then, we're going to sew our square piece to our small polka dot piece. Okay, the square piece to the small polka dot piece. The same way, pretty side to pretty side. You want to make sure you get it lined up. We're going to press these. Okay, now then, our next step is going to be to sew. I think I've got these laying the right direction, like this right here. The other polka dot piece right here on these. Okay. run a 1/4 of an inch seam. Got my 1/4 inch seam foot. You run your side of your fabric to the side of your pressure foot right there. That gets you your 1/4 of an inch seam. Now then, y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to press them. Alright, here these go like this. Like this. Like this. Like this. This is the way they go. Okay. Now then we sew 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay, now then, we sew this one on. And then we'll press them, okay? Let's go press these, and then we're going to sew them together, and this block will be done. Alright, now then we sew this one to this one, and we're going to nest these seams right here. Right like that, and we're going to put a clip on them. And this seam right here is going to nest right like that. And we're going to put a clip on it. And then we're going to stitch this right down through here. Alright, we're going to open that up and see how pretty those matched. How those seams do when you nest them like that. Now then, those seams nest right there with a clip, and this seam will nest right there with a clip. Gonna get it straightened up, because we've got it kind of crooked. See, look, you want to make sure that you've got it straight. All right, there we go. Isn't that a pretty block? Let's go press it. Okie doke, here's our pretty little strawberry block. And let's see if we've got any that needs to be trimmed off. We do, just a little bit. And you see how I'm going to square this up right here? This has got your diagonal right there. See that? And if you make that go across this seam and right here and right here, then you know you've got it. It's all squared up. So, I didn't mean to knock y'all over. So let's trim it up here all the way around. I did kind of move it just a little bit there, didn't I? Okie doke, there's our block. Didn't it turn out cute? I love the strawberries. We may do some more strawberry blocks. Who knows? Depends on what fabrics we have and what we decide to do at the time, right? All right, I'll put this one up. This is block number 4 of the book. Now we're going to go back over here and we're going to cut out some more and we're going to do block number 5. Well, good Lord, you all, I didn't have you turned on. I've already cut all my pieces. Gracious me. I thought y'all were with me and you weren't. That could be bad, right? Okay, well this block is block number 5. Right here's a picture of it. Okay, and you use 3 fabrics for this one. 3. And I chose these 3. This pretty little bow. It's got little bows on it, little pink bows. Here's this white with some red and peach colored flowers and a little bit of blue. And here's this blue piece with the same colors, okay? And for this block, you needed 4 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. And that's these right here on your corners. 2.5 inch squares, okay? And you needed 2 2.5 by 1.5 inch pieces of this fabric and 2 2.5 by 1 inch pieces of this fabric, and these are 1.5 by 6.5, okay, in the middle. Now then, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to sew these two, and these 2, pretty side to pretty side. And then I'm going to press them, because we all know you have to press your seams to get them all to lay right and lay pretty. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to sew this piece here and this one here. Same thing with this one on the bottom. And then we're going to sew this one to this one and this one to this one. And I'll be back here in just a few minutes. Okay, here are these 2, and these 2. You can see what I've sewn together right there. Now then, I'm going to add these right here, this right here, and then I'll come back and add this one to this side and this one to this side, okay? When I get those done and pressed, I'll be right back. Okay, now there's 1, 2, and 3 sections. See that? Now this one sews to this piece, and then this one will sew right here. I'll be back and show you when I get them done. All right, and I've lined this one up, you all, and it really doesn't have any at all that needs to be trimmed, because it doesn't have very many seams. Does need to be pressed open a little bit more. But there's that little block. Isn't that one cute? I like the way that one turned out. Now then, we're going to do one more in this video because it's another real quick and easy one. It only has 3 fabrics. And it's very similar to this one, but it's got pieces here on the sides, okay, and pieces top and bottom, but it's very similar to this one. And for that one, we're going to do these right here, and we're going to put in this yellow You know, I said we had some yellow we were going to use. So we're going to use all this. These I'm going to put over here in the scraps. And we will use this on another block, another day. Okay, now then, don't these look pretty together? I think they do. I think they look real pretty together. All right, now then, we'll hang that one up in a minute. Now for this one, I need, let me look here. I need one that is 2.5 by 1.5 of this gold, and one that is 4.5 by 1.5 of the gold. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 1.5 right up through there. One and a half, just right there. And we'll throw that away because that's left over for who knows what. We need one 2.5 by 1.5. So add this to 2.5. And then we need one 4.5 by 1.5. Let's do this right here so I can see that. There we go. There's our 2.5 by 1.5. And then we need one that's 4.5 by 1.5. There's our 2 gold pieces. We just needed 2 of those. Now I need, of our purple pieces, I think I need the same thing. Put that over there in our, with our scraps for another one. Now this purple, we need a 2.5 by 1.5 and a 4.5 by 1.5. Okay. And I'm going to trim this selvage off here just a little bit. And this one definitely needs to be squared up because it was washed and pressed and so forth. So it needs to be squared up here. Now then, let's cut our strip 1.5 inches. That seems to be a common theme with this book is 1.5. So we'll be able to use whatever's left of this. Little strip in something else. Alright, and we need a 1.5 by 2.5 and a 1.5 by 4.5. So we'll cut the 2.5. And the 4.5. Yes, I'll cook dinner in a little bit.
We need 10 plates.
We need 3.
I'm gonna go to Five Guys.
Not tonight. I'll cook us something. There's our 1.5 by 4.5. We need 3. He has to come up and check on me, make sure I'm still here. All right, now this one we need 4 2.5 by 2.5 and 4 2.5 by 1.5. So this end piece we need to cut 2.5. So here we go with this. There again, I'm going to square it up because it was washed and ironed. Now, so these need to be 2.5. So this piece I will cut 2.5 inches, because that's the common theme in this particular piece. All right. Y'all, I cut exactly. That's wild. That came to a point right there, so I cut exactly what I needed to cut off of that. That's kind of wild there, isn't it? Probably never be able to do that again, but you know, hey, we'll take it. Okay, now then, I need 4 2.5 by 2.5 and 4 2.5 by 1.5. So I'm going to turn this right like this. And I'm going to trim this off and square it up. And here's our 4 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. There are those 4, and then I needed 4 2.5 by 1.5. So we're going to cut those right here. 2.5. By 1.5. Right there. So this is all of our pieces. Where's that? There it is. Here's all of our little pieces for this block. Now, y'all ready to lay them out? Y'all ready to lay them out? Okay, we're going to start with these. And they go on the corners. One, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And these go 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one goes right there. This one goes right there. And these go like this. Is that right? No, these swap. Or if you so choose and you want it to go the other way, you can do it the other way. If you want to reverse those, you can. But I'm going to leave mine just like this. Okay? And here we're going to stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? These 6 pieces right down this center is what I'm going to stitch. These 2, and these 2. 3 separate little sections, but I'll stitch right here, and right here. And then I'll be right back. All right, now then, we've got still got our 3 sections right here. So we need to sew this to this, here, and here. And then we can also go ahead and sew these on this side, okay? So we're going to sew this like this. We're going to sew these 3 right down through here. 1, 2, and 3. And then, before we even press it, we can fold that back and we can sew the other side. Then we're going to press them, and then I'll come back and we'll have 3 pieces, okay? Okie doke, here's what we've got. We've got 3 pieces now. We're going to sew this one to this side, right like this. And then we're going to sew this one to this side. And this block will be finished. I'll be right back when I get these other 2 seams sewn. Okie doke, now we're going to square it up. I've centered it. And we're going to square it up right like this. And this side over here, does it have anything that needs to be trimmed? Maybe just a smidgen? Just a smidgen. There we go. And there's that block. So that's 3 real quick, easy blocks to do. We've done 3 in this video. 3 real quick, easy blocks. I hope y'all are liking this series. Some of you said you wanted to see more quilt blocks. So, you know, I had this book and thought, you know what? Let's just do these 100 quilt blocks. And like I said, these turn out to be 6.5 by 6.5. But if you want them bigger, just do the math and cut your pieces a little bit bigger. That's all you have to do. But I think 6.5-inch blocks is, I'm in a group that's what they always want, are 6.5-inch blocks. So maybe that's a standard. I don't know. If it is and y'all quilt a lot, let me know, because I don't know. But we're going to get on with our book in another video, and we're going to do some other things in between times. I've got more overalls coming. Still have not decided exactly what we're going to do with them. I've got some long ones and some short ones. And I'm going to try them on, make sure they fit me the way I like before I do them, because these others didn't. And I was very, very disappointed because I wanted these overalls so bad. And it's my fault. I should have tried them on. I looked at them and they were the right size. I'm like, yeah, they'll fit, no worries. They'll be plenty big enough. And they are plenty big enough. They just don't fit. They're just not comfortable. Have y'all ever put something on that just wasn't comfortable? They're just not comfortable. So I'm going to try these on, make sure they fit, make sure they're comfortable and all that stuff before we go decorating them, okay? So they're coming. The short ones are white for this summer. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something that'll be really cute. So you all remember, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a video. If you've not subscribed, we're doing this whole series. There's 100 quilt blocks in this book, and we're going to do every one of them. So you don't want to miss our quilt blocks. You don't want to miss our shirts, our overalls, our fun projects we do in between. I've got some bags I want to make with you all. Lots and lots of fun stuff to do with fabric. We're going to play with fabric, and we're going to do some more coloring with fabric. I've got all those scrappy raw edge designs to do, and my battery's dying, so I'm going to wrap this up here. And that'll be all for this, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.